Hello, hello, hello. It's Lily Enrique here, Parenting Strategist from Parent Support Network. I hope you are doing awesomely well and enjoying this beautiful, beautiful day. Spring is just about to, spring has sprung, not quite, but it is about to. The weather's getting beautiful. Today, I wanted to tune in predominantly because I was thinking about something that came up when I just edited my masterclass. At the end of my masterclass, I talked about an instance where our son came to join us at a book launch that we did. And so often people actually say to me, Lillian, first of all, what is a parenting strategist? And secondly, how did you get to be a parenting strategist? How did that come to be? So for those of you who don't know my story, I'll backtrack just a little bit. So when our son was just a small child, a toddler, he was diagnosed with ADHD, ODD, and childhood depression. And that was when he was in preschool. And we had quite an interesting journey, and we started sharing about our journey when he was only like 4 or 5 years old. So we've been talking about this for, 25 years or so. And helping other families as we were learning, I guess. So in our earlier days, we focused more on sharing what we discovered via my first book, Hidden Dangers. I've written 6 books now, so we started sharing more on, what's in our food and personal care products and all the toxins, etc. And that was something that we did for many, many years. My husband and I together probably did hundreds and hundreds of seminars to thousands and thousands of people, predominantly back in those days live. We used to travel the country from Shepparton in Victoria right up to northern Queensland. So we would do seminar tours, etc. And we loved that and we really enjoyed that. But then something actually happened in our family dynamic when our son hit pre-puberty, I guess, or early teenage years. He was a very challenging toddler, and then in his primary school years, we kind of had some semblance of normality. It was still a bit of a roller coaster, but we were coping reasonably well because we were very diligent about his diet and, his exposures to toxins and, the products that we used on his body and nutritional support, etc. We were very focused on the physiology of the body, probably more than on our parenting and relationshiping, although we played a little part in that. But when adolescence hit, things really went awry, really went challenging, and we had to dig even deeper. We had to dig even deeper than we had prior. And what I'm actually getting to is this story of where so I'd written my 3rd book. I know I'm fast forwarding a lot here. I'd written my 3rd book as a result of some absolutely incredible, life-changing, positive results that we got through those particularly 2 challenging years when he was about 13 to 15. And we were at a book launch to promote this book, The Revolting Child, A Blessing in Disguise. And at the end of the talk, somebody actually said, asked a question and said, can we ask your son a question? Because our son had actually come with us to support us in this book launch, predominantly because the book was about him. He wasn't that keen, but he did anyway. He just turned 16. So you can imagine a 16-year-old not really wanting to be in the spotlight like he was. And anyway, this gentleman actually put his hand up. And the reason I'm sharing this story, and I know I've shared it before, is because it's really why I am so very passionate about what I do now. So if you are a parent or a caregiver of children and you are struggling in any form with your parenting, with your relationships, with kids not listening, kids being defiant, kids being uncooperative, disrespectful, or you just don't feel really connected to your children, and, you don't really feel like your relationships are really where you'd love them to be. They might be okay, but they're not really where you'd love them to be. Then you're going to love what I've got to share, because our relationships prior were very dysfunctional. They were very disconnected because of all the dramas and the stress and the chaos and everything that was happening in our home, particularly in the 2 to 3 years prior, but predominantly for most of his childhood. And anyway, back to the book launch. So at the end of the book launch, this gentleman raised his hand and said, can I ask Caleb this question? And he kind of reluctantly agreed. And the gentleman actually said, now we've heard your story. We've heard where things were at with your son and where things are at now. And he said, I want to know, Caleb, what was it that took you from where things were, the dysfunction, the getting kicked out of school, the mixing with the wrong kids, the taking the things he shouldn't have taken, hanging out with kids he shouldn't have hung out with, getting kicked out of school, etc., getting himself into a lot of strife. What took you from there to where you are now? And I don't mean things were perfect yet, but boy, oh boy, were they a heck of a lot better. And I could see his mind kind of ticking over for a couple of seconds. And he said, when I saw the effort that my mum and dad went to be the best parents they could be, I just wanted to be the best son. And I think even though I'd been doing this work for many years prior, like we've been doing it for 25 years, and I think that was about 13 years ago because he's now 29. When I heard that, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the most profound thing I've ever heard. Because yes, we were, trying all these things as he was growing up, but when he really revolted, when things got really, really tough, he saw us in our struggles to relationship with him because he knew, right, it was pretty dysfunctional. We were doing a lot of upside down parenting, but then he also saw us as parents who were seeking answers to help our situation. We were loving, we were caring, we were as positive as we could be, even though we were doing a lot of upside down parenting. And when we finally connected with our parenting coach, Frank, which once again is why I'm so passionate about being a parenting coach and strategist, is that when we started implementing what Frank taught us, and I guess we were just seeking answers, right? We knew that what was happening was not good. It wasn't right. Nobody was happy. All of our relationships were stressed, but we didn't know what else to do. Anybody else we had sought advice from just wanted to medicate our son, or me. It was suggested that I was medicated as well. And so medication was really the only, solution that any of the so-called professionals would give us. And we met Frank, and he taught us some stuff that totally changed our lives. And if you want to listen into that story or read that story, please download for free at my website, theparentsupportnetwork.com.au. And you can actually read that whole book. Or if you'd like an abridged version, I've got an abridged version as well. Just contact me and I'll be happy to share that with you. So that is why I'm so very, very passionate about what I do. And I was reminded of that today as I was listening through my last masterclass, because I decided to edit the masterclass. It was over 90 minutes, so I wanted to make it under 60 minutes. So Andrew helped me to edit it, and I was re-listening to our story, and I was re-listening to that story, which was at the very end of the masterclass, and it got me thinking, like, wow, if I can impact families the way that we were positively impacted through our parenting coach, well, then that's me done and dusted. That's my passion, my mission, my purpose in life. So if you haven't listened into that masterclass, or if you did listen to the 90-minute one and you'd like to check out the abridged one, the 60-minute one, please do listen in. I'll pop the link below of the brand new edited version. I'd love for you to listen into that. If you would like to chat about your family and perhaps what you're going through, if you're going through any struggles with your children, or your relationships and your relationships with your children, your relationships with your partner, your relationship with yourself, because this work helps all relationships, please do reach out. I'm very happy to have a conversation with you. And I'm also working with my amazing IT guy, Ben, at the moment, and we're putting together a brand new referral system. So many people want to refer their friends and family to me, but I've never really had a structured referral system before. So we're working on that at the moment. And I like to reward people for, sharing my work and for recommending me. It's kind of like, that law of reciprocity. And I know people will share just because they want to share, but I actually would love to be able to reward people for going out of their way to share my work with their friends and family. So if you are interested in finding out more about the affiliate system that we're working on at the moment, please also do reach out. And that's really all I wanted to share today. When I heard that story again, I'm like, if I get on Facebook Live now and one family reaches out to me and I can make a difference for that family, like our parenting coach made for me, then it was worth the effort of me doing this. So that's it from me today. Lily and Riki from Parent Support Network, equipping parents to enjoy really happy and amazingly healthy children, and especially relationships on purpose. Thanks for now.